This is how you build a massive online business with little to no money. I'm Tom Bilyeu for Goalcast. I co-founded the billion-dollar company Quest Nutrition, which was named by Inc. magazine as the second fastest growing private company in America in our fourth year in business. In our first 3 years alone, we grew by 57,000%. And it all started as a small online business that we launched from our living room floors. All right, grab something to take notes with because I'm going to give you the step-by-step instructions on how to build an online business. Step number 1, start with why. The days of building a company on the back of a weak product, perfectly marketed, are thankfully over. In the era of social media, you're going to live and die by A, your product quality, and B, what you and your product mean in the minds of the consumers. The product quality is going to speak for itself. It either will work and be better than what else is on the market, or it won't. But what you mean to your customers, that requires a mission. People need to know why you're selling this product. Why you? What does it mean to you? Is it just about money? Or is there something more? Millennials and Gen Z are fanatical about the intentions of the companies they support with their dollars. And one of the most important marketing vehicles is going to be your story, your why. At Quest, for instance, our why was to end metabolic disease. That was the thing that drove all of our decision making. I'd grown up in a morbidly obese family, so for me it wasn't just about wanting to make a lot of money, it was about wanting to help people like my family. And that mission, that why, not only was our North Star, it was a powerful marketing vehicle. It let our consumers connect with us authentically, and it allowed us to tell them who we are. Because of that, they could feel good about supporting us and recommending us to other people. The other reason that starting with your why is so important is that you're going to need something other than money, I promise you, to see you through the hard times. Most entrepreneurs don't fail because they don't understand business. They fail because they don't love what they're doing enough to push through the mountain of boredom and suffering that are inevitably going to be faced as they get their company off the ground. I have a plaque that reads, "Find something you would die for and live for it." When you believe in something that much, then you're going to have the energy to fight through all of the hard times. 2, decide if you're going to make a physical product, and I'll include software here, an information product, or simply market someone else's physical or information product as an affiliate marketer. Creating a physical product, including software, is the most expensive of the three and will require the most startup capital, but also usually reaps the largest rewards. But startup capital, which is really just a fancy way for saying the money you're going to need to create the product and get the company started, is a determining factor for a lot of people. So if you can't afford the development or prototyping phase of a business, then you're going to have to decide if you want to raise capital or if you want to create a business around information or become a reseller or affiliate marketer for someone else's products. All are perfectly acceptable and can be strong and profitable businesses, but you need to be realistic about what fits your personality, your desired income, and your access to capital. For the scope of this video though, I'm just going to assume that you want to launch a business that you can start quickly and with virtually no cash. So to that end, most people will end up being a reseller or becoming an affiliate marketer. So I want to define those two a little bit more closely. A reseller is somebody who buys an already made product at a discount and sells it at a markup. Think of Amazon. They are a reseller on steroids. In the beginning, they didn't make any of their own products. They bought products off of other people and sold them on their website. Now, admittedly, that's an oversimplification, but to avoid getting bogged down, I'll leave it at that for now. The upside of being a reseller is that you get to sell a product that you really believe in, that solves a real problem, and that the company is probably working hard to promote on their own in addition to your own efforts. The downside is that to get that discount, you may have to buy in bulk and you almost certainly have to hold inventory. And that means you're upfronting cash. Also, you'll have to fulfill the orders yourself, and that can turn into a real beast as your sales grow. An affiliate marketer, on the other hand, while it's a lot like a reseller, you don't have to buy and hold inventory. You simply do the marketing and then you send people over to the manufacturer's sales team, either via the web or phone or whatever means the company wants their leads to come into them. They do the work of closing the sale and then they send you a commission check on every sale that they make from the leads that you send them. Again, I'm really simplifying here as there are several flavors of this, including drop shipping, where the customer's entire experience is with you from beginning to end, but all fulfillment and logistics are handled by the manufacturer. But that at least gives you guys a couple of the different possible avenues that you can head down, at least at a really high level. 3, solve a real problem. Whether you decide you want to create a new product, build an app, or market someone else's product, make sure that a huge part of your decision-making process is whether or not the product you plan to create or back solves a real problem that a lot of people have. The easiest way to sell a product is to show people how it solves a problem that they already know they have. Part of the reason that Quest was so successful is that people have to eat every day, and more people were waking up to the fact that what they eat massively impacts their health and overall well-being. But people also want to enjoy their food. At the time that we launched, most people believed that food was either delicious or healthy, but definitely not both. So our job was to make food that people could choose based on taste, and it happened to be good for them. Once we had done that, one of the most powerful growth strategies that we had was just giving the product away. Once people tried it and saw that it was both healthy and delicious, then we had a customer for life. Step 4, let's talk about sales and marketing. Once you have the product that you're going to sell, now the process of no BS execution begins. Remember, only execution matters. Don't be overly precious about your ideas. Tell anyone and everyone who will listen what you are up to. You never know who's going to be able to help you. As a quick primer, think of marketing as letting people know that your products exist, what problems it solves, and how they should feel about themselves if they use your product. We could do a whole masterclass on that sentence alone, so for now, I'm just going to leave it at that. If marketing is awareness and meaning, sales is actually getting people to pay for the product. Before you can go too far with sales and marketing, you need to pick a name for your company. Personally, even if I were merely being a reseller or affiliate marketer, I would make sure that in the marketing of that product, I insert my company's brand and personality. I would not try to be an invisible middleman. A big part of the reason for this is that I don't want to be beholden to just one manufacturer if I can at all avoid it. I want to represent an industry. Take Thrive Market as an example. Their why, their mission, is to help people find the highest quality healthy foods. If one manufacturer goes away, they simply move on to someone else. Their business isn't beholden to any one company, so diversify just like they do wherever you can. And when you're picking your name, make sure it's something that lets people know what you're about. It should be broad enough to cover the industry that you represent, but not so generic that no one knows what you do. Thrive Market, again, is a great example. Their name makes sense with their mission, but it's not something hyper-specific like Vegan Market, which is very limiting in its scope. When choosing a name, make sure it's something that you can really own. And by that, I mean make sure it's not too common. You want something that you'll be able to get the social handles for and that you can really own from an SEO perspective, and SEO is search engine optimization. Also, pay attention to the associations that people have with the name. Make sure it says something to people that you want it to say. When I was naming our new company, Impact Theory, which is a media company designed to give people an empowering mindset, I originally wanted to call it Mission House, but when we ran the name by focus groups, they all said that it made them think of a soup kitchen for homeless people. So we went back to the drawing board. Once you have your name, step 1 of marketing in this day and age is social media. 5 or 6 years ago, I would have said that step 1 was your website, but now, no question about it, it's your socials. You need to embrace that if you're going to sell today, you must become an effective content creator, and all of your marketing should be value add. When we started Quest, our whole mantra was that the first rule of Quest marketing was the same as the first rule of Fight Club. You didn't talk about Quest. We just wanted to create something that was of value. What exactly you're selling is going to determine which platforms you'll focus on, but no matter what you focus on, you want to make sure that the content in and of itself is interesting. Now, the most obvious and universal platforms are A, Facebook. For all the drama around Facebook these days, it is still the 800-pound gorilla. Not only does their user base dwarf everything else, their back-end marketing tools will help you reach your target market with a high degree of specificity, which means you're going to be able to keep your costs really low. B, Instagram. Insta is great for establishing the look and feel of your company and giving people that bite-sized content that they can snack on. It is super visual and super simple to use and interact with people, and they continue to update the platform to make selling easier and easier. C, Twitter. Whether it's dying or not is up for debate, but regardless of whether it lasts another 5 years, right now it is the platform for direct conversational contact with your potential customers. It is super real-time and a great place to see what's on the minds of your customers right then at that moment. It's a great place to keep your finger on the pulse of your brand sentiment, and paying attention to that is absolutely critical. D, YouTube. This is the hardest to build, but the one, in my opinion, with the deepest impact. At Impact Theory, our average view duration, the amount of time that people spend watching one of our videos, is about 15 minutes. On Facebook, for the same video, it's around 5 minutes. So the same video gets 3 times the amount of engagement just based on a different platform. Let it go without saying that to leverage social media, you really have to make awesome content. Your content has to add value to people. People should want to watch your content in and of itself, regardless of whether or not they want to buy your product. Masterclass, to me, if you guys haven't seen these ads, they're incredible. They are the best example of this that I have ever seen. I have never taken one of their courses, but I watch all of their trailers. Even their trailers, just by themselves, are awesome, and I feel like I'm learning something. That is value-add marketing at its finest. And it is the only kind of marketing that works in today's world. As you're building out your socials and developing your social strategy, you need to also get your website up and running. Social channels are way powerful, but you're renting your audience from the platform. You don't own them, and the platform could go out of business or simply decide that nothing is free anymore, and that is for sure the direction that Facebook and IG are going. Your website, and especially your mailing list, are how you're going to build something that no one can take away from you. It's the place where you get to have a direct relationship with your audience. Make sure that your website is engaging and sticky, and you do that by creating custom content that they can only get there, and make sure that you have some amazing free content to entice people to sign up for your newsletter. The old adage is that it takes 7 touches to get a conversion. Your social channels will do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, but you're going to find that on social, you can't sell as hard as you can in, say, a newsletter. So for the real sales, your website and newsletter are going to do a lot of the work for you. So make sure you focus on making them extraordinary. People have got to want to engage with them. When creating your website, use a template, my friends. I cannot stress this one enough. You can customize it all you want, but unless you're a web developer, you are going to lose an insane amount of time making a custom website. There are so many options these days for literally buying a website off the shelf, but my advice is the ever-faithful WordPress. It makes your site super easy to create, customize, and manage. All right, as a part of creating your website, you're going to want to make sure that you have a sales funnel. This is just a fancy term for how you take people from just finding out about your brand and or product all the way through to actually buying. Now, oftentimes, you don't go for the sale right away. You want to nurture your customer by adding value for free. Can't stress that enough, for free, and then simply making them aware of your product offerings once they realize what you're all about, that you're all about value creation, and that they can trust you. Because once they trust you and know that you only offer things that are of the highest quality, they are way more likely to do business with you. Once your website is up and running, you'll want to wire it to handle transactions. Now, if you're doing just affiliate marketing, this isn't necessarily that important, but if you're actually going to do the transactions, you're going to need to wire yourself for e-com. And assuming that you're going to handle your own transactions, you're going to want to use a pre-made e-com solution like Shopify that will plug directly into your website and allow you to process sales immediately. It's really pretty remarkable how far this has all come in just the last 5 to 7 years. There really are no excuses for setting up an e-com site. It takes very little money. You can get these solutions off the shelves. It is just absolutely amazing. So make sure that you're taking advantage of this stuff by using these solutions rather than trying to do everything custom. Not only is it going to save you time and money, but there will be plenty of people out there that know how to use and or modify your setup. And as you grow, that is going to become increasingly important. But when it's custom, finding people that can help you without first having to be trained on your entire system is brutal. Step 5, decide if you're going to register your company and get a tax ID. The legal and tax side of things is the least fun, at least for me, but it's absolutely critical. And the only way around this step is to remain a pure play affiliate marketer. And by that, I mean that you're not handling the sales on your own website. You're simply passing the lead off to the manufacturer and they're closing the sale. And if you do that, then you can get away with a simple 1099. But assuming you're creating your own product or you're a reseller, then you're going to have to register your company and get a tax ID. The good news is, just like the e-com solutions and just like the fact that you can get websites that are templates, these days, even the process of setting up and incorporating your company comes with a lot of help if you're using a service like LegalZoom. As of this recording, LegalZoom offers LLC creation packages for less than $100. So setting up a company has never been easier. Now, beware, because it does vary wildly state to state and country to country, but truly with all the help that you can get online, it has never been easier. A few Google searches with terms like register my company or setting up a new business are going to get you started. Step 6. The last thing I'll say is don't let any of the technical stuff or any of the legal stuff bog you down. The important thing is that you get started. You can start building your audience right now today with a simple Facebook account and a smartphone. It really has never been easier. In fact, we started Impact Theory just building our social channels and getting people into our newsletter mailing list. And we did that long before we had anything to sell. But we had tens of thousands of people in our ecosystem before we ever tried to sell something, which meant that our sales had a lot of momentum. And momentum matters. Literally, momentum is everything. So not only do I want you to not worry about getting bogged down in all the technical stuff, I want you to tell everyone what you're up to. Try to get people excited about your idea rather than worrying about people stealing it. Ideas literally are a dime a dozen. The only thing that matters is execution. And while we are on the topic of execution, my friends, be sure to read the book E-Myth Revisited by Michael E. Gerber. It is one of the best books on starting and running a small business I have ever read. All right, guys, I believe in you. I know you can do this. I know you can build a successful company online. When I started my entrepreneurial journey, I had no idea what I was doing, literally none. And yet, ultimately, my partners and I built a billion-dollar business. All it takes is a commitment to never-ending learning. Don't worry about being good today. Just be committed to getting great over time. And nothing teaches more powerfully than action and failure. So put yourself out there with an open mind and a willingness to learn, and on a long enough timeline, you will succeed. This has been Tom Bilyeu for Goalcast. If you want more free content like this or want to learn more about my mission to build a media studio to rival Disney, follow me everywhere at Tom Bilyeu, or visit my website, impacttheory.com. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to Goalcast. And until next time, my friends, be legendary. Take care.